Met everybody. Last week I uploaded a video about my favorite Meteora features. I got some feedback on it to make maybe some, let's say, deep dive video of each of the features. So that's why I decided to make a short series to explain every feature more deeply, also maybe interesting for new users. So let's go ahead and go with the first feature, the ranges, the price ranges, where the bins functionality actually shines. So when you want to provide liquidity and earn fees, you, in terms of liquidity efficiency, decide where you want to put your liquidity in which price ranges. And before we go into the price ranges, let's go one step back and let's go and look how the fees and everything works in a very abstract way. So for example, you are a crypto user, you wanna swap your USDC into Sol or vice versa, doesn't matter. So you go to a DEX, for example, Jupiter, and because we are in the decentralized ecosystem, we need these DEXs needs liquidity. So on the centralized exchanges, they are like big market makers, the exchange itself and so on, they provide liquidity for you. In the DEXs, we can be this market maker. So in the background of this DEX, there are this liquidity layer. For example, it could be Meteora in this case. And there are different pools where liquidity is aggregated. And in volatility, when there's a high volatility, for example, the routing of your swap will be more, let's say, expensive. And when there's low volatility on the market, you could pay less fees. So we can, with our wallet, this is on the right side, provide liquidity into a specific pool. For example, you swap USDC to Sol, Jupiter routes you to this 0.2 slippage pool with a bin step 4. And you, with your wallet, with your liquidity, are providing liquidity. So you put some USDC and some Sol, or just Sol, or just USDC, you decide, into this pool, and you earn fees every time a user swaps these two tokens. So what is slippage? Every time you click swap, there's a lag between you clicking on this button and the actual market price. So for example, the market price is $150 per Sol, and you click on this button, swap, and we, for example, have high volatility in the market. And the slippage setting that you set is, for example, 1%. And the price is changing more than 1%, then you get an error because the market price changed more than 1% and your slippage setting was 1%. So it exceeded this level and you get an error. So you can increase your slippage setting. For example, meme coins, it's something that you want to do. For example, like 5%, and then your swap will be successful. Or you just wait until the volatility is gone and swap again and pay less fees. So this is something that you could be aware of from the user perspective, and of course when you provide liquidity. So this is how and the rule of thumb is like small range, high means high fees and more risks, high range, less fees, and of course then less risks. So let's go and try to understand more deeply what these ranges are. So for example, you want to provide liquidity in a range of 20, which is 12%, for example. This means that in this range, you put all your liquidity. So you can provide SOL and USDC in a different ratio to earn fees. So when you want to have a higher range, then you go with a higher bin step. For example, if you want to go for minus 49%, then you go with the 100 bin step, and there's a lot of between, so you can have like 50 bin step 50 and so on. So each of the ranges means actually the percentage of the price movement. When we zoom into this let's say range, we have segments, and these segments are the bin step, and the bin step is like a liquidity aggregation for a specific price. For example, when we open a pool, I will do that right now, we have 69 bin steps. Let's go into the pool, and this is a 20 bin step pool. You see how many fees it earned in the last 24 hours. So in the last 24 hours, this pool generated around $8,000 in fees, and these dollars will be distributed with all the liquidity between all the liquidity providers. And when you want to participate in this, then you can provide liquidity. And the great thing here, you can provide liquidity one-sided or two-sided. So you can provide like $10 in USDC and the same amount in SOL. So then you go 50-50 and the bin count is 69. What does it mean? Actually, that every of the segment will get a small share of provided by you provided liquidity. And for example, in this case, when the market price, we create pools every time from the market price. So when we open a pool, it will be opened in $149. So when this bin step liquidity in this bin step will be empty because somebody bought a lot of SOL or swapped SOL into USDC or vice versa, the market price will go to the next bin where you also provide liquidity. And so when the price goes up, you go higher from the bin step perspective, and when the price drops, you go to the lower level. So your liquidity in this bin step will be used to generate fees. So, and then the actual volatility decides in which bin step you are provide liquidity, and this is actually then the market price. And these bin steps are actually zero slippage bin steps, which means you swap, but technically Meteora just swaps your USDC into SOL or your SOL into USDC when the price movement goes up and down. And that means what technically happens is just swap, your liquidity gets swapped in one or other direction. And in this case, you could go and swap it by yourself and pay fees, or you can also swap your USDC to SOL or SOL to USDC with the pools in Meteora, and you earn additionally fees on that. So it has more value for you. So for example, when you want to DCA into SOL, you can put your liquidity one-sided, you just put only USDC, and when the price goes down, you buy in this bin steps more SOL, and when you want to sell your SOL on the higher price, then you set your bin step and you can, for example, sell your your SOL into USDC on the higher prices when the price moving up. So this is actually how it's working, and this gives you more flexibility on the other side. And because you can decide if you go one-sided or two-sided, and you place your liquidity how you actually want. And in the price ranges and regarding the bin steps, because you also can reduce this price, bins, and which then means you provide more liquidity to a specific price, to a less, you have create like density with your liquidity. So in this case, when you're going to go back, when you decrease the bins, then it means that in this price range you provide liquidity in this range, so you have more density, more liquidity. But it also has risks, because when the price goes down and you open your pool, for example, always from the market price, and the price drops, that means that from this level, this would be 150, 140 for a SOL. All your USDC will be swapped into SOL, and when the price continues to drop, you will face something like a permanent loss. That means that you first of all, you don't earn fees anymore because you are out of range, and your SOL becomes less value, of course, in dollar. So in this case, you could reopen your position, then you will go like this. You can reopen your position to earn fees again. Or you go with a higher range, which saves you a little bit from this volatility of the price, but you earn less fees in this case. So you have this flexibility with these bin steps, with actually price ranges, to earn fees in a shorter price ranges for side moves. It has its downsides, but you earn more fees. Or you go higher ranges, which gives you less fees, but it gives you the opportunity to prevent any permanent loss when the price moves a lot. And this is, for example, meme coins can be very volatile. This is why on meme coins you will get with the higher price ranges and the more stable tokens, you could go with the smaller ranges. And in the next video, we will talk about how you could shape your liquidity into the actual positions or bin steps.